Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, it's for you. Remember, they're general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. Use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you, and if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. If you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. For your key to the week, you have the Hanged Man, right? So this week, Tarot is asking you to consider it all and a lesson in detachment, right? Sit back, stand back, hold back. This is not a time to rush in. It's not a time to be hasty. It's not a time to, in all of these different areas of your life, take a beat, take a moment, right? Take a moment to just sit back, to step back and to relax. That's what you're being asked or guided to do at this time. The other thing with the Hangman, it very often says that the thing that you want, rather than going after it, just wait for it to come to you. All right, like sometimes that really is the best way to get ahead, is to do nothing. For your actions and options, you have the Seven of Wands. So there's a couple of ways we could see this, right? The first one that really comes to mind is whatever that battle, that challenge or that fight is that you are sort of itching to have, now is not the time. Right, you will have time, you'll have your moment, you will have you'll have the space, but you are being advised to kind of just sit still for now, right? Another way that we could see this would be that you have to stick to your guns, right? And if you're in the challenge already, if you're in the conflict already, you have to stick in it, right? Like this is Tarot's way of saying you do nothing, right? If you're in that place where there's a stalemate, now it becomes a moment to ask whose will is stronger. For the options that are available to you with the Seven of Wands, it's maybe not necessarily an option that's available to you. It might just be that you are you're in it now, right? It's already happening. So now is just a time of sort of sustaining where you're at. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Six of Pentacles. So when it comes to your communications in general, it is going to be about the give and take, right? There seems to be a lot of negotiation on the table for you at the moment. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of this, things kind of flowing backwards and forwards. And so there's a lot of questions as to, is this the way to go, right? If you're already in it, you're just going to have to stick it out. When it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, it looks like a lot of you are fighting or maybe disputing some kind of financial, maybe there's like a bursary or a loan or a grant of some sort that you were supposed to get but didn't, and this is you fighting for it. I think that's the right way to go, but you are going to have to stick in it. There's no resolution this week is what I'm trying to say, right? So if you're in it, you've got to stay in it. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be slightly different, right? You could see something in your workplace that feels marginally unfair. Maybe somebody gets a pay rise, maybe somebody gets promoted above you, maybe you're not getting the fair compensation for the work that you do. That might also be it, especially if you've already done work, right? Let's say you've already put the overtime in, etc., and now it's like they're refusing to pay you. There's some element of this that does feel unfair, but remember with the Hanged Man, you have to just wait it out, right? If you try to force it or to push it or whatever, the energy probably will work against you. So my advice would be to just kind of persist and sort of stick in with it. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, your Six of Pentacles, this might be where you have to pay out or potentially have to refund a client. One thing that I will say to you is, even if you have to do this, yes, it might be a ball ache and maybe you think, that was really unfair, whatever the case might be. But I would say to you, do it, because you will feel a lot better and you will come to realize they will probably return to you at some point, right? That client will come back And at that point, you then say to them, no, unfortunately, I'm not having another situation where I have to refund you. So this is kind of where our professional relationship ends. All right, like you will have the power, but you don't have it right now. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, this is a dispute over a financial matter. So it might be something that you have, maybe something that a family member is kind of saying, well, I think that you should pay for this, or, this should be how it's done, or whatever the case might be. And you're kind of like, no, I'm not sure that is the case. So again, stick to your guns. For your love and relations, you've got the Seven of Swords. You've got two sevens. Two sevens represents news. This Seven of Swords is my least favourite card because it's usually things like lies, deceit, etc. This is around a financial matter. I don't feel like this is the partner though. I feel like this is either a family member of yours or a family member of your partner's. And it's like you're going to collectively, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, you'll catch a family member, whether on your side or their side, in a lie. And it will be about something to do with finances. And when this comes to light, it's really, really important that you hold that united front. Don't get into that, oh, this is your family, they always, ... Don't do all of that. Maintain the united front with your significant other. For those of you that are single, if you're meeting somebody, I would be very careful about your finances and your resources, especially where somebody has already exhibited that there are financial issues or problems for them, or if they've spoken about them. Just be careful because you don't want to get sucked into anything like that. All right. And then finally, when it comes to your money and materials, you have the Page of Wands. I love this for creative ideas that can create more finance or resources for you. The Page of Wands, again, it looks like so what's really interesting is the Hangman is telling you to wait. The Page of Wands is a message, a document, an acceptance letter. Maybe you've applied for a loan, maybe you've applied for funding, etc. It's like you're waiting and waiting and waiting. You don't have to force it, it will come, right? This is why the Hangman is kind of saying, if you can be gracious now, it will serve you in a much better light moving forward. And I agree with this, actually. When it comes to your finances, though, a lot of your ideas, they are going to be slow to get off the ground, but a lot of your ideas can actually end up bringing, good money in the long run. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Page of Wands is nice for physical health and vitality, but it does... I'd want to see this with another card specifically, but this feels like it's right to say to you. I'm not a doctor, can't give you medical advice, this is not a diagnosis, but if you've had problems or issues with your immune system, they are probably hormonal. All right, that's something that you need to look into. The other thing as well, for those of you that have had problems or issues with a dentist or some form of dentistry, this might be a good time to, or I would say if it's possible, wait, and then at a later date sort of seek rectification. And if you're planning to sue, this is not the week to initiate that. You'll have a much stronger time after this, but this is not the week. When it comes to your home and environment, the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is nice for home, but it does suggest that your home is going to be sort of the contact point or where a lot of the information comes in. So I will say, have the tissues at hand, have the kettle on boiled, and just be ready for the door to constantly knock or the phone to constantly ring. It's going to be one of those weeks. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Look after yourself. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. If you want to get a personal session, you can do so on the link in the description box below. Take care. I'll see you soon.